Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Pallavi Vyas, and I welcome you all to the IRE Conference 2025, organized by GI Business School, Bangalore. In today's rapidly evolving ecosystem, unicorns, that is startups, that have a valuation of over $1 billion, are no more a rare phenomenon. We can see multiple names now. We can hear a lot of unicorns coming out. But then, though it's not rare, it's something which is very, very extraordinary. But then what is it that makes them as game changers and different from the rest? It's actually a fusion of multiple things. Maybe an idea or an innovation which is really bold, a simple yet it could be a cutting edge research, and also probably a scalable entrepreneurial idea, an innovation or a fusion of all of these three together, or it could be something extraordinary as well. So today's panel discussion, which is titled Creating Unicorns, How Research and Innovation Fuel Next-Gen Startups, we would try to identify what is it that is the magic, or what is it that could be something very simple, an idea, or something which somebody would have thought of and has become a disruptive innovation or a business idea that we see around us. So let's begin with the panel discussion. So my first question to you, Dr. Prabhu, and we know that you have initiated Hold the Stylus Before the Chalk campaign, and you're pretty much famous for a lot of such initiatives that you have started. However, with your entrepreneurial experience that you've had and with your experience with the cybersecurity space, I would like to ask you the first question, wherein what do you think how innovation and how something or the other that some business ideas that evolve, how does it make some entrepreneurial idea to be very innovative and something which is very different, which becomes ultimately scalable as well? So what kind of innovation do you think, and how, to what extent innovation contributes to ideas becoming scalable?
Thank you, ma'am, and a very good afternoon to everybody. Such a pleasure to be here. So when we talk about innovation, I usually use the word which is called as IP moat. So the IP moat comprises of patents, it comprises of trademarks, copyrights, and trade secrets. And if you have a look at the way in which India is progressing in this particular domain, we have seen a double-digit growth recently, but still we're lagging behind when we compare to the other four nations which are far ahead of us. So just to give you a heads up, China has filed around 16 lakh patents in 2023, whereas India has only filed about 64,000. So when we talk about innovation, the first thing that comes into mind is the patents. Because once we have patents, once we have copyrights, we can claim ownership of that particular idea or the product. So having said that, I believe if you look at the best of the companies that have made mark globally, they have all incepted in universities. So you can name most of them, and they're all from the universities. So the term that we use is called as spin out a startup. That is, they start in the university and then they grow global. But we have also seen a new trend now, which is called as academic spin-in, wherein the companies are bringing in the research from the academia so that they can add value to their organization. So having said that, I feel this question that you've asked is very difficult to answer in a line or in 2 or 3 sentences. But what I feel is, we need to develop problem-first thinking. So once we do that, I think things will fall in place.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. So like you said, problem-first thinking. So I would move to Revati ma'am, and I would ask my second question to you, ma'am. So like Dr. Prabhu said that, you have to find the problem. So I think very early in your life itself, you had thought of a problem. We've read a lot of your stories, so I would not want to unfold that, but we would want to hear from you that what is it that inspired you? How did that inspiration came, and how did you realize that, okay, I want to do something with environment and some social good and contribute in that way? So if you could share about your journey with us.
Good afternoon, everyone. And yeah, it is. I'm thanking for this panel discussion so that we can share so many things. And like my enthusiasm started when my sons were not studying and properly, and they were not interested in studies. That was the main reason. Like, no, I thought like I will do something for them. And like as a housewife, I was a music teacher and like that and all. And like I thought like I should contribute something to my sons. And when they reach adulthood, I will develop something. Like that, I started my business. And like my husband was a banker. And then like he was actually the financial discipline. Like from the beginning of my business, I used to use my financial discipline. I never took loan from anybody, and that was the instruction given by my husband. And like this continued, and Zerodha now, it reached to the level of Zerodha. And like Zerodha has not taken fund from anybody. Like that, no, they have not raised fund or not accepted fund from anybody. And like that way that I started, and I kept my discipline, and like I started my floral business in the beginning, and that was the creativity I had in me, and that was there. And like I thought like this is also a business. And I started from the Wipro, like vendor, as a vendor, and it continued, and I reached Leela Palace and Western and all. I became an entrepreneur like that way. Just a housewife I was, just without investing anything, just using my brains like I did it. During those days, like 30 years back, that things were not like this, like for these children, no? Whoever is sitting here, like they have got so much facilities now, digital facilities are there. When I started, just an email, this one was there, no social media. How to tell people that I'm creative? How can I get job like that, no? It was not that easy. Like that, no, I need to prove myself and go door to door step and advertise myself like I'm something. I'm capable of doing this decorations, I'm capable of this one. And that turned into my event management company, Calix, and my business started with in the name of Calix. And like my son Nitin Kamath gave this name to me, and first he gave me Calix Carola, but that domain was not there, so Calix, and he was my guide actually, and he was doing +1 at that time, and Nikhil was in primary school. And then like that, no, I was every step I used to use my financial discipline. Okay, that is like that made me grow. And I want to tell everybody like that, no, nowadays like the banks are giving so much loan, and so many loan giving agencies are there, and all the children shouldn't this one to that. Like then like they won't be knowing what will be the hidden interest, and then like that, no, then they will end up in desperation, and finally the business will, when financial problems arises, and that all this innovation and this one and all goes. When financial, really I'm telling you, when problems arises and head is full of problems, that there won't be any innovation or creativity. Creativity dies through financial problem. That's where wherever I go, wherever the universities I go, wherever I go, I tell people that be careful about financial management. You might be ambitious, like no, that ambition through ambition also, like that, no, you need to be careful before investing anything. And that is the thing. Like then I entered into my landscaping business, and from Myco Bosch I entered. Like I was doing events, first flowers, and then I started continued with the events, and I used to do PowerPoint presentations, all this LED walls, that, this and all I used to do. Just a housewife I was, like, just imagine. And through innovation only, I reached, as like then Myco Bosch offered me landscaping work. At that time, I didn't know what is landscaping. Just this why I'm going to tell everywhere, like anybody can become anything. And then that landscaping made me reach up to Tata Steel. And finally, when I stopped my business, I was having Tata Steel in my hand. Another 11 projects I had in my hand. And then I got force from the family because Zerodha erupted. And wherever I go, if I go to take a project, and they used to ask, usually everybody asks like that, no, what are your children? Usually everyone asks like that. And if I tell about Zerodha, people used to tell like, why you have to do commercial, like what is like that? No, they should not think like my sons are not taking care of me. Then what I thought, like my family thought that I'm going to sit back at home, but didn't happen. Myself completely turned towards environment and rural education, and that is now I'm seriously involved in that, and my life is that, like, and I'm thinking of doing something contribution to rural education. Recently I have taken up 3 schools, rural schools, underprivileged schools now in my hand, and like now I have started one more school. Like, it is very pathetic condition of rural schools, and I want all these youngsters who is doing MBA and all like that, no, they have to think about rural education, because our India is 70% rural, this one. And like wherever I go, I tell like, see, this innovation and this AI, that, this and all, like, is where it is reaching. How much percentage it is reaching? It is not even reaching 1% of our population. How our nation improves? How our nation this way, like underprivileged children are getting uneducated. So it is continuing. And exploitation, like the rural areas, they are giving 120 rupees, 200 rupees. See, believe it or not, 20,000 is the annual income in some of the places. Annual income of a parent 20,000. How can a child will study? How they maintain the family? That's happening. See, it must be all our responsibility to each one take care of one child. Then how much our India improves? One child. Like, if you invest 1,000 rupees per month, no, you can take care of one child. Like, I think I have taken too much time, right? Yeah, that I wanted to tell you all, like that innovation, like, no, not only in one angle, not only some highly sophisticated educational institute are growing, and like, what about our rural education and innovation has to happen, entire India together. Thank you all.
So thank you, ma'am, for those experiences that you shared with us. So like you rightly said, our today's generation is really blessed. They have all of it available with them. So this brings me to the question for you, Professor Parameshwar. As ma'am said, that so much of it is already available, but still, what do you think are the gaps that are existing between the research that we do, academic research, and what the market needs? And how do you think institutions like ours, like GIBS has an IRE program? For this, we have the IRE conference today, the agenda of today's conference. So how do you think institutions can help people overcome these challenges, help prepare students, and can support their growth so that they can come out with their own ideas and out in the market?
Yeah. Thank you. Good afternoon all. It's an honor to be part of this panel discussion. So answering your question, coming from an academic institution, we typically look the piece of research as an intervention in 2 ways. One being an academic research which culminates to a research paper or a research publication. The another piece that we have to focus is the business research, which should end up in understanding the product market fit or the commercial viability of the business venture that we want to look at. Having said that, both of them are important in the current day's situation. What we have to do is to look at a different lens when it comes to a program like IRE, which is Innovation, Research and Entrepreneurship. We consider that as a practice course rather than a typical academic course, not like a classroom course that we handle that with. What I mean by practice course, I'm talking about bringing in the interventions into the class which makes the teens the student cohort teams to work on their ideas and bring out something and do something in the classroom. It's more of an hands-on exercise rather than a teacher running the slide deck to the class. So approach is a little different here. So we are talking about business research. The moment we start our program in IRE, in GIBS Business School, we ensure, and this is spread across 3 terms, 3 trimesters. So we start with the initial stages of ideation, and we give them enough understanding of how innovation can help you to bring out, identify a problem and identify a solution for that. And from the entrepreneurship perspective, of course, the research will happen to understand the product market fit, the commercial viability, go out and discover the customer, look at the market, speak to people, and get as much data to understand if it's viable or not, should we pivot, all those stuff. So focus is on more of business research when it comes to the program IRE. And entrepreneurship will help us, or rather the interventions that we try to bring into the class was to make the students cohorts to go out and talk to the market. And that's very important. And when it comes to academic research, that may not be the case, because academic research is more strong on theoretical frameworks and the recommendations at the end of the research paper, which may or may not help the industry. But what we try to do as entrepreneurship program is, like I told you, we ensure that we give them enough questions, hands-on exercises. Okay, how do you do it? How do you want to do it? Who do you think is your customer? Did you talk to the market? How many people did you speak to? It cannot be a closed group of within a 200, 300 student group that they run a survey and come out with the results. So there is a constant push from the faculty as well, so that we try to bridge the gap. And plus, we also have IRE talks, which complements, because we're trying to get industry founders, the professionals from the industry who can come and mentor the students, spend time with the students, and students have an opportunity to go and network with them. And that will complement what happens in the so-called practice course classroom sessions. So this is how we try to build a bridge the gap between the academics and the industry.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you, Professor Param. So I think that makes a lot of sense, sending students out, doing their own research in the market, and then getting to know what is it that the market is looking at and wanting. So I now move to the next question to you, Dr. Prabhu. So in fact, you have also been a chief architect of the Cyber Safe Karnataka project along with the former CM. So now that we know that a lot of companies are now becoming a lot tech dependent and are really using tech a lot, so to what extent do you think cyber safety or cyber resilience is important for these startups, and how do they manage that? How do they become more cyber resilient?
So we all have a mindset that this attack could happen to somebody else but not to me. So when it happens to us, we realize that, oh God, even I'm so vulnerable. Because I remember my Guru Sanjay Sahai sir fondly telling, hacking is the new normal. So I asked, sir, what does it mean? So he told me, Anand, out of the 100 systems that are there, 95 know that they're hacked. I said, thank God, 5 are safe. He said, 5 don't know that they're hacked. So this is where we are. But I would like to mention 2 points here. The first point, which Revati ma'am told about the pressing problems that are there, which we have. So the rural area. Now there is a digital divide. We see a lot of people using technology even there, because you see them using UPI, you see them using Google Pay and social media. The other day, I was asked to deliver a lecture to 10th standard students, and when I went to that school, they said, sir, we are very sorry, they are having exams today, so please give it for 4th standard students. And I was like, what am I going to talk to these 4th standard students? Then when I went there and I spoke for 5 minutes, I realized that probably they're as good as 10th standard students, because they are digital natives, right? So we are seeing this change. And as Parmeshwarji has rightly said, there is a lot of groundbreaking research that is going on, but research without commercialization gets lost in the academic silos. So I feel the industry and the academy, they have to work together, number one. And number two, cyber safety is very important. How many of you here have got antiviruses, a paid antivirus in your phones? 3 of them. So the rest of them are going to come to me someday asking for help. Right? So, yeah, so this is how it is. And talking about cyber safety, it is very important. See, an intern of mine has come here. He told me that he wants to be a part of this, and he's come up with a product, a very nice product, which is pet insurance. Like when he told me that, I was just wondering why would somebody take that. But then when he explained about it, it looked very lucrative to me. Now, even he is giving importance to cyber safety because people are going to do the transactions online, and one mistake, then you lose the entire brand value, whatever you have built so far. So talking about that, number one, it is very important. Number two, looking at the global scenario, many countries are now waging war against India digitally. So it's no more the missiles that will come and hit you. Somebody somewhere will sit and just get your systems down, and the businesses that you've built with your blood and sweat will just be gone in a toss. So therefore, it is quintessential.
Yeah, makes sense. And I think with this, a lot of us have to be mindful of what we have in our phone and what we are using. So this brings me to the next question for you, Revati ma'am. So we know about all that you've been doing for the society, for the environment, doing social good at a large scale. So how do you think that such kind of businesses can become scalable? Do you think businesses which are aligned more towards environment and a social cause, can they become unicorns too? What is your opinion on that? Hello.
This question actually is very, very important for everyone. Whatever the innovation, whatever the AI, whatever the development, whatever the business improvement happens and all, no, nature is very, very important. See, environment is the one, like it's very important for whatever the profession and whatever the rich or poor or anybody, like environment. And unfortunately, like you all know, like so many hazards happening to our environment. And I think like last 50 years is very bad. And since last 50 years, like this encroachment of this Raja Kaluves is happening. And then because of this encroachment and buildings, abruptly building the buildings above Raja Kaluves made our natural water body vanish. And then like water doesn't know when heavy rains were there 50 years back also. Heavy rains are here now also. Like that depression will be there in coastal area, and then heavy rains will come here in Bangalore. We can take it as Bangalore or Chennai or anywhere. Like why that 50 years back there was no hazards and no flooding and all. Why flooding happening now? And like no, why people are suffering? The low level areas like that, no, it is flooding. And like you believe it or not, 1 week I was not slept properly, and it was bothering me so much because seeing the news like that, no, that is so many elderly people will be there, children will be there, pregnant women will be there, like that, no, suddenly in the midnight, water coming in, rushing into their houses, how hazardous it is. And snakes started coming in this one, and so dangerous. And how can they live their life? Like, no, where they go? Why it is happening? And I think everybody should think about it, and we have to make a together decision. We can't wait government to do something. Like, no, government is not doing anything. Like what is happening, like the last so many years, no, not a single improvement happened. Not any Raja Kaluve cleared, not a drainage. At least, okay, leave the Raja Kaluves, like already built. At least drainage systems they can do, no? Like Summit 5 Architectural Infrastructure Bangalore Summit I attended in Jane Tata Memorial Hall, and I was a guest and chief guest, and even our Labour Commissioner was chief guest, and our BBMP chief engineer was there, chief guest, and airport MD Mr. Rao was there, and like everybody was talking about infrastructure Bangalore. What a sweet way they were talking. The airport, Terminal 2, and like 3,000 crores project that is erupted and all. See, like suddenly I ask them, what are the environmental hazards happened while erupting that infrastructure? Like, while they erupted, and then everybody is appreciating, oh, Terminal 2 is so beautiful, that is and all. See, finally, what compensated that, whatever the environmental hazards they made there, they have to compensate somewhere, right? They have not compensated. And when you enter like the airport, like we will see that non-native species is continuously planting, and it is spoiling our biodiversity. Conocorpus is the one like now everywhere spreading in Bangalore. That is more dangerous than Parthenium. That is going to cause like in another 5 years, like no, we won't live properly to use AI or our digital technology, our innovation. Nothing is going to be there. Day by day, environment is getting spoiled. Like no one is like in that day, like I asked them, I am not bothered about anybody. I asked them, where you compensated? Like no, that is that so much space got vacated, so many trees, and this one vacated for airport development, and we have to compensate somewhere, no? Like
so
whatever the trees.
If I would add to it, ma'am, somewhere maybe the students or younger generation could do something about it, and maybe make.
See, like they're doing, public doing is a second thing. I'm talking about what the compensation happened. This is not happened. And then BBMP chief engineer, this is whatever I speak practicality. Like no, that is the BBMP, this one chief engineer was telling. And like no, he was not knowing in front of whom he is telling. Okay, he announced that this year 3,000 crores got allotted for this drainage enhancement. Like this rainy season, it is not going to happen any problems. And what happened? Where is the 3,000 crores and where work is happening? They have to tell, no, now we have got rights to go and ask them. Like that, no, why it is happening? We are in a multi-storied apartment or we are in a bungalows, like then we forget. Like that, no, whoever suffering, let them suffer. Like that, it is not coming to us, no, that we will be suffer. This attitude, like how many days, how many years it continues. One day it is coming back to all of us, and then we have to face. And in Tamil Nadu and in Andhra Pradesh, that Conocorpus tree plantation stopped planting. And here in like a very sophisticated area, you go and see in the airport that is Conocorpus plantation is happening. The Conocorpus, you all go to Google and search what are Conocorpus plantation. You all while crossing, if you see green plants, no, wow, Bangalore is improving so much because so many tree plantation happening. You know the hazards of Conocorpus, how it is going to cause us damage. And very sensitive respiratory people are going to get more respiratory ailments, and like no, that elderly people, and lots of hazards happening. And now Tabubia roseas everywhere, flowering. You all think like, oh, Bangalore is looking like Japan. What bullshit, like that Tabubia roses, what damage it is going to cause, anybody knows about it? Even educated people doesn't know about it. I'm angry about it. Like, no, that is what we are going to give it to our next generation. Youngsters are sitting there. We have to tell them, like, no, these are the hazards happening. Please awaken, stop it now, like that. See, like every water bodies, natural water bodies in Bangalore, all the drainage is allowed into natural water bodies. Underneath completely that is getting polluted and chemical pollution in the underground soil, and that is spreading whatever the borewell surrounding are getting polluted, and the borewell water comes out with chemicals. And like how to, like this is I will really congratulate this organization, because they are making the students listen to all of us, and then definitely that they will get some this one inside. And thank you for organizing this.
Sure. Thank you so much, ma'am. So, in the interest of time, one last question to you, Professor Param, and maybe one more to Dr. Prabhu. So what do you think is the biggest barrier that students face when it comes to coming out to the market? Is it really about mentorship, or is it about fear of failure, or is it about funding? If you could just briefly let us know about that.
Oh yeah. In my experience, when I taught the IRE, the cohort, given their age group, age bracket, and the societal pressures, usually the first thing that the students has a challenge of fear of failure. I mean, what if I fail? That's the main thing. For given the age and without the experience, they're coming in, they've just done their bachelor's and maybe a couple of years of experience. They have not explored a lot of world. So the first thing is the fear of failure. So to address, okay, there is one more thing that I have. I see it as another thing, as lack of safety net. What if I fail? What is the other plan B for me? As a student, I'll not know about it. I'll not be able to see the future very clearly at that age and time. So this is exactly where the mentoring and the coaching plays an important role as part of the IRE program. So what we do typically in the classroom is we try to create and foster a culture of it's okay to fail in the classroom. So I have actually literally told and gone to the student groups and told it's okay if you fail now. Iterate as much as possible. It's okay if you don't know something. It's okay, go find out, figure out. If it's not proper, redo it, come back, regather, go back to the drawing board. It's okay to fail. So we keep on we have to tell them that it's okay to fail right now, so that they get an idea that it is important to fail fast, learn faster, and pivot as well when it is required. So while you create that culture in the classroom, when you go to the cohorts and with the hands-on exercises, tell them, make them work, and tell them that it's okay, you can go back and rework and find out what is it. Ask questions so that those right set of thoughts are triggered in the student's mind. Did you check back with the product market fit? Did you speak to the customer? How many customers did you speak? Are they actually your real customers at the end of the day? Did you identify the right cohort to talk to? So those questions will trigger those ideas or those questions in them, so that in a way I'm also pushing them. Given my style, I will definitely push the students. Second one, safety net. What if I fail? I mean to say, okay, since 3 terms, 4 terms, we got into your team, we got an idea, we identified the problem, we built a solution, we did the pivot, we added features, feedback, all this stuff. But at the end of it, when a student joins a program, the focus will be on the placements and a job as a natural progression of the program. It is very rare to see a student who's focusing on building the ventures. So the thing is, that becomes again, the natural progression towards placement is because we are built that way. So after PGDM, after MBA, you have to get into a good placements and you can start your corporate life and so on and so forth. We have to create a mechanism where when we say it's okay to fail, we also have to give them enough safety net, like I told you, second one. It is important to create such an environment in a business school or in a university where students are given enough leeway from the preparation of placement preparations, because we identify good, scalable, sustainable ideas from the student cohort, and we give them enough time to build it for like 2 years, 3 years. And then if at all, if in case they fail, they have a safety net to come back to the placement team for the placement assistants, so that they will not have a regret later. So that's very important. I think that's where we can add value to create that environment where it is reiterated to the students that it's okay to fail. At the same time, I'm also creating an opportunity. Go find out your way, go build your venture for next 2 years, build your venture, don't worry about your placement. If in case you fail after 2 years, don't worry, you can always come back to the placements. I can help you to get placed. Because they have enough experience of building a venture. When you build a venture and it is not successful, it is not a bad remark, it's a good experience, I would say. So it's more like adding value to the CV, if you ask me. So it should be that way. So the approach should be in such a way that we tackle both the sides of the things.
Sure. Yeah. So I hope the students are listening and they're making their notes as well. So this brings me to the last question for the discussion today, Dr. Prabhu. So what do you think are the ways in which industry and academia could collaborate with each other and make sure that we can bring those ideas from lab to the market? So how do you think that can happen?
So I've got 7 points which the students can probably take notes. The first one is they need to learn the art of storytelling from Revati ma'am. So this is very important. So you need to know how to sell your story. Otherwise, nobody's going to listen to you. And I was seeing everybody engrossed when she was talking. So number one. So the second point is, as sir has rightly said, research is the new oil. But we need to know how to refine it. If you don't refine it, nobody wants the crude oil. So that is the second point. So everybody needs to know what to do with that research that they're doing. It shouldn't just be an academic exercise for you to be promoted from assistant professor to associate professor. Yeah. So the third point which I would like to tell is, my student Sankirn is here. So when I look at him, it reminds me that we have to stop exporting brains and we have to start exporting breakthroughs. That is what exactly he's doing. So that is what we need to do. We need to stop sending the best of our people from here, and we need to make sure that they are here to make this place a better place. And the next point is, we are all, I see a lot of students so engrossed in Shark Tanks. Start Scholar Tanks. Yeah? We need Scholar Tanks. That is much more important than Shark Tanks, because as ma'am has rightly said, we need to think local, code global, and scale planetary. That is very, very important. And the last point of today is, everybody thinks that we need to come out with a product and only then we can pitch it. No. There is something called as minimum viable product, MVP. You can come out with that if you have any idea. And there are some beautiful websites like Innovation Sandbox, a controlled environment where the startups can test the disruptive ideas. Then there are the beta testing platforms like Product Hunt, Beta List, AppSumo. Use them. You also have equity and reward based hybrid platforms like vFunder, Start Engine. There are crowd funding platforms like Kickstarter, Indiegogo. So whatever products you have in your mind, put it there and try to get seed investors. And to end with, instead of just thinking about some simple startups, we need deep tech startups. We need moonshot. We need to think big. We need to come out with something that will solve the pressing national problems like precision agriculture, clean energy, affordable healthcare, water management, rather than relying on imported or generic services. I rest my case.
So, thank you so much, all three panelists for today, Dr. Prabhu, Revati ma'am, and Professor Parameshwar. So before we close today's discussion, I would just quickly wrap it up with a few takeaways from today's session. And I hope our students who are sitting here have made their notes as well. So as we wrap up, I hope everybody has understood what could be the magic or what could be the secret recipe to bringing your idea out to the market. So make sure, like Dr. Prabhu just said, make sure that you know the art of storytelling, like Revati ma'am. Make sure that you have that idea and you're able to bring it to the world. Like we keep emphasizing, be on social media, meet people. Like Professor Param said, go out and meet the right people. Let them know what idea you have. And you never know where help may come, in which way the help may come to you. Also, focus on breakthroughs. Make sure that you be in the country, do good in the country. Like Revati ma'am said, identify what I can do along with my business to save the environment, to do something for the society, and create those breakthroughs. You never know how you may make a name for yourself through that. Apart from that, focus on those minimum viable products. If you can't really make that idea big and scalable, at least focus on that minimum viable product. And also find out the right resources where you can take help from. Like we have Innovation Sandbox and similar search platforms that are available for you to test your product and test your ideas. So with this, we wrap up today's panel discussion. Thank you so much, our panelists, Dr. Prabhu, Revati ma'am, and Professor Parameshwar. And thank you, audience, for being patient listener. Thank you, everyone.